Hey, hey, Monday. We're back again. Hey, Jen B. Jen's always the first one in. Val's next, then BL. We'll give it a couple of minutes before we get started. Hey, Spiros. Hey, Suki. How you doing? Looks a bit dark. Let me just try this. Does that help? Nope. Same thing. Looks like I'm sitting in the shadow. How is everyone doing today? Hope you're well. Markets have been a little bit quiet this morning or this morning, afternoon. If you're on the session, drop a message, say hi. Very good. Good to hear, Suki. A bit tired, but all good. Yeah, I know. It's the weekends are more tiring than the weekdays for me. Same. 2 more minutes and we shall get started. In the meantime, if you have any questions, please get them ready. You can type them up first as well. Hey, Maboso, how you doing? As long as market is not too volatile. I'm actually looking forward to some volatility. I was really happy I didn't trade on Friday night. I don't know how you guys went with that, but we saw a big retrace on Friday. Well, big retrace correction on Friday, end of the week. I was telling you all, just be careful. It's end of the week. After a big week of big downside on the dollar, we saw a big retracement up. Hope you all traded safely or not traded at all. If you're on the session, say hi, just so that I know everyone's here or the regulars are here so that we can get started. One more minute and we shall get going. And also, while you guys are here, while we're waiting, giving that 1 minute, if you let me know what you think about the Discord channel. If you like it, if you don't like it, let me know. Suki, I'm not. No, I'm not. Doing my own stuff. Gold is on uptrend in H4. Yes, it is. Hey, Nick, how you doing? Followed my rules on Friday and got 2 trades. Very good, Vel. Good to see. Good to hear. Thank you, Suki. I appreciate that. Alrighty, let's get going. So again, thank you all the regulars for joining onto the session, the daily market analysis. And for those who are new to this session, a big welcome. Thank you for joining us at this session. I hope you become a regular during this session. What I do is every day, Monday to Friday at 3 p.m. GMT plus 8, we jump onto this session. So set a block on your calendar, make sure that you're ready to jump on. We look at what happened in terms of fundamentals, and on Mondays we look at what happened on Friday nights. Then we look into what could happen, what are the news to be released today and possibly into tomorrow. With that, we look at the technicals, where's price, what's likely to be happening, where could it head towards. Put that together, we identify possible trade setups. Okay, so recently it has been, I've somewhat found a trend that the trade setup seems to work really well on the Monday to Thursday, and then on Fridays we get a big retracement. So that's something that I found not entirely proven yet, but something to look into. All right. Hey Mohammed. Hey Angel Case. Hey Mohammed 63. How you doing? Hey, Ayakame, good to see you, and Kavindu as well. Welcome to a profitable new week. Yes, I hope it is for everyone. It is going to be a little bit choppy to start off with. I hate using the word choppy because we seem to be overusing it, and the more we use that, the harder trading becomes. But I think that we're going to be looking for a trend to develop over today and possibly into tomorrow before we see some good trading setups come around. All right. Okay, so as usual, a quick disclaimer is that any information contained on this webinar should not be construed as advice and is presented as educational material only. Your objectives, financial situation, and needs has not been considered, and you should consider its appropriateness to your circumstances. And please remember to do your own due diligence because the contents of this webinar is not intended to be a recommendation to trade a financial product. All right, so for those of you who are new to this session, please feel free if you've got any trading related questions you'd like me to explain or elaborate more on any particular setups that we're looking at, put it into the chat. Let me know if you have any currency pairs or anything that you'd like me to look into. Put it into the chat and let me know as well. The regulars, you know the drill. Let me know what you want me to look into, or if you have any other ideas or trade setups you'd like to share. You can either share it into the chat here or put it onto the Discord channel, and then we can take it from there as well. Do remember, I have the link over there on TradingView, but I'll put it into YouTube as well, is that this is a 1 hour, approximately 1 hour session. But if you want to take it beyond this session, you need help, more help, or you want to have a sounding board with your trades, do jump onto the Discord channel. It is free. It will be free. It's going to be free. So make sure you jump onto that. We have a growing trading community there. What we do in the Discord channel is that we share trade ideas. Before you might have a trade setup, you could ask questions on, is this a good setup? Where do you think price could head towards? I'll be sharing my ideas or what I'm looking at as it comes around. So it's not only at this time where I'll be sharing my trade ideas on the Discord channel. I think before this session today, I was looking at the US yen, right, as it broke above the resistance of the 134 resistance level. I was looking for further upside, and then also on the euro dollar, looking at a possible upside. So I do look to share with you, as it comes around, not just during this session. So if you haven't already, make sure you join up. With that, let's keep going. I realized something was that last week, and I apologize for this, is last week after the Friday session, I didn't upload the summary, right? I didn't upload the summary, which was here on the 14th. I'm not going to upload it now just because it's a bit pointless. We'll just send up another one, but I was just rushing off to something else, so I didn't upload that. Okay, so in case you're looking for it, didn't upload it, we'll do it this time around. Hey, Personal Platter, YouTube is more stable than TradingView. Okay, I'll try and feedback to TradingView about that, but we are streaming on YouTube and also on TradingView, so you do get a choice, right? Sometimes a choice is much preferred, so you do get a choice. We're on TradingView, we're on YouTube. I'll give you a little bit of an insight. I'm planning, not considering. I've considered, and I am most likely going to start doing streaming onto Discord as well. All right, so this is only for the folks on Discord, in the Discord group. Where is it? There, okay, in the Discord group there. I will be setting up some sessions where I'll be streaming only on Discord. So if you haven't already, if you're watching this on TradingView, if you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe. Please give me a big thumbs up. But some sessions, maybe a live trading sessions now and then, we'll be doing it on Discord. So make sure you do join. The link is all there for you guys. Okay, so looking at the news from last week. News from last week, we were expecting bad numbers for retail sales for the US, but was not expecting that bad a number, right? We're expecting bad numbers, but not that bad. US retail sales month to month, it was a minus 0.4. It got revised to a minus 0.2. They expected a minus 0.4. It came out at a minus 1%. Core retail sales was minus 0.1, got revised slightly higher to a 0%. Expected minus 0.4 came out at a minus 0.8. So what happened here at 8:30 GMT plus 8 when this news was released, we actually saw on the dollar at this time, right, 8:30, I'll zoom in a little bit, we saw the dollar spike down. So at 8 o'clock it was there, it spiked down from that 100, almost 101 level, spiked down to test that 100.83 support level or 80 support level there, and then after that bounced back up. Right, it spiked down, and at that point I was telling members in our community to go, just be careful, it is spiking down, but it is end of the week, it might get crazy. It spiked down and it bounced back up. It shot up to and pretty much end the session at that 101.60 level. Right, at that 101.60 level, because it was not just the retail sales number that caused that spike down, but we actually saw consumer sentiment slightly higher, right? So it was a 63.4, expected 62, so it got revised down to a 62, and then we saw a slight uptick in consumer sentiment to a 63.5. So what happened, or how to view this in general, is that, if I zoom out a little bit, you can see since Monday last week, the dollar index went from 102.77 all the way down to 100.80, and then towards the end of the week, we saw a big spike up. What you also notice here is that, take that down. I think I got my levels there. Yep. So it came up. Take this away for now. It came up. It retraced all the way back to that 50% level, right? It retraced all the way back to this 50% level, failed to break, failed to close higher, and then now it's showing that downturn, that continuation of the downtrend again. Right, so if we did that, you can see that push back down along with that 50% level. I did write a quick analysis this morning, pretty much sharing what I just told you right now. It came up to that 50%. If it doesn't break above that 61.8, which is that 102 level, I'm going to anticipate further downside on the dollar index. So right now it is showing what we expected, resisted and turning down. Don't rush into a trade yet. It is right at that level, right at that 101, almost 101.50 level. It does need to break down. I'm looking for it to break below 101.40 to signal further downside. So we didn't see that big move, but I think that we're going to see this happen. Okay, I'm trying to find a place to put this big yellow box. Okay, we're looking for this to happen. For it to trade down, break below 101.40, and then we're going to see that as a signal or a confirmation for further downside or continuation of the downside towards the 100.80 support level. Hey, M Leader, how are you doing? Okay, with that, so that was last week's news. What else do we have? Today, we do have the Empire State Manufacturing Index, not one of the news that I pay attention to in particular. So not a lot of news, right? We have foreign securities purchases, wholesale sales for Canadians. We have members speaking from the bank, from the MPC. I don't think these are big news items that I'll be too worried about. President Lagarde is speaking at the Council on Foreign Relations. Again, not a policy meeting, so not too concerned about that. Into tomorrow, we do have monetary policy meeting minutes to come from the RBA early in the morning. Again, recent interest rate decision, you can see here. Where is it? Recent interest rate decision was to hold at 3.6%. The RBA held interest rate at 3.6%. So it comes back to tomorrow in the meeting minutes at 9:30 a.m. GMT plus 8. They're possibly going to, or not possibly, they're going to explain in the meeting minutes why they decided to hold interest rates at 3.6%. I don't think this will be a big mover. It's interesting that at 10 o'clock, we do have the Chinese GDP quarter on year to be released, looking like it's going to show an uptick, but there is some, how do I say this nicely, concern, right? Or reflection that they don't take the Chinese data too seriously, so I wouldn't be too worried about that. The main thing for tomorrow will be the claimant count numbers and unemployment rate, looking like there might be some changes here for the UK. This is before our session. So if we're getting to a pound trade later, we're going to be worried. We're going to be wary of this. And then into tomorrow, which I'll tell you during the session tomorrow, is the CPI number for the Canadians. At this point, we don't have a forecast yet, but we look into tomorrow to see a forecast. Possibly going to get, I think, we're not going to get a big surprise, right? I don't think we're going to get a big surprise. I think it's going to stay relatively the same, or maybe some improvements in terms of slower inflation growth that might lead to, or might encourage the Bank of Canada to continue holding interest rates, not making a decision there, right? Or deciding to hold interest rates. So for now, this is one of the reasons why right at the start of the session, I was saying that we're possibly going to see price being a little bit choppy. It's going to move. It looks like it will be developing a move towards a trend, but not ready right now. If you're rushing into a lot of trades today, possibly a little bit dangerous. Just be extra careful on that. Okay, so that's the view on the dollar. Today is the 17th of April. We're looking for the dollar index. Still downward move expected. It will need to break 101.40 to test 100.85 support. Okay, any questions on the dollar index at this point? So I'm looking for it to break down towards 100.84. If it does bounce from this level, I wouldn't rush into expecting further upside on the dollar unless it breaks above 102. Okay, unless it breaks above 102, which would coincide with that 61.8 level, then I would think we're going to see a more sustained upside for the dollar index. But for now, I do think that we're going to see this continue to push lower. Okay. With that, I've got 50 different people buzzing me at one time. Okay. With that, we'll look into the Kiwi dollar. So remember, we were looking at this on Friday, where we were anticipating, giving it different scenarios. If we see dollar weakness, we're looking to buy the Kiwi dollar up. If we're looking at dollar strength, anticipating at end of the month, end of the week retrace, we're looking to sell the Aussie dollar down. This actually worked very well in our favor because the Kiwi dollar did not break above the previous high, so it didn't break up to trade up to that resistance level, so we can take that away. In fact, it broke down from that 0.6295 level and went all the way down, pretty much all the way down towards that support. As you can, it just came down and tested that support at 0.6185 before now looking like a bounce to the upside. Anticipating that dollar weakness, then we could be looking for this to push up. This will be, and you can also see that because there is no news to be released on the Kiwi or on the dollar at this point, right? You can see that the last time it came up to this level, we saw a big push to the upside. I'll put in a dotted line here. Right at this levels here, we saw a big push up. This was on the 3rd of April. And then again on the 13th of April, we saw this push up. Right now, looking like it's bouncing off this support. What you could be looking for here is if price breaks up. All right, I'm looking for push up, dollar weakness. I'll be looking for about this level, 0.6220. Take profit about 70 pips. Stop loss. Generally, I would say below the support level here, but 55 is quite a big level. I like this consolidation, right? I like this consolidation forming a little bit of a support here. So I'm looking for this to break up 0.6220, about a 70 pip take profit and a 30 pip stop loss for the Kiwi dollar. Okay, buy up 0.6220. Stop loss about 30, take profit about 70. We can take that away for now. All right. All good. Any questions so far? Okay. Let me know if there's a question. Let me see what's this. Dollar looks unlikely to rise much further. Market talk. Maybe Jin said it as well. Dollar bounce as expectation for rate hike climb. So they're anticipating increased likelihood of the Fed Reserve hiking rates in May. Okay, so we're seeing this, looking for this to push up. Aussie dollar worked like a charm for us on Friday because we were anticipating, right? If dollar weakness, we could see the Kiwi go up. If not, dollar strength, we will see the Aussie drop. It actually went up. I'll zoom in a little bit. Went up, tested, broke a little bit beyond that 0.6790 level, and then came back down again. This was a good trade. It actually went further than we expected. All right, actually came down to that 61.8 level before now looking like a rebound. In terms of a trade, you might not have got into, if you had a sell order, you would have got into this trade here. But if not, you might not have sold at 0.6778. In fact, you might have sold at, on the close of the candle. Remember the video we were talking about? You might have got in at 6764 or 6765. You'd still be seeing a 35 pip move to that support level down there. Okay, so you'll still be looking at a 1:1 risk-reward ratio to the downside. So that worked very nicely. If you did get into the Aussie dollar trade, let me know. I would love to find out. So I'll take that away. In fact, I'll take all this away. Okay, and then what I'm looking at here now is that. Okay, I like to have seen that the Aussie dollar actually came down to that 61.8 level, tested that level, and looks like it's rebounding. So very similar to the Kiwi dollar, where we're looking for it to rebound. In fact, it's moved a little bit more than the Kiwi. But given that there is this 0.6725 level here, you can see it resisted before. I wouldn't be rushing into a trade unless it breaks above this resistance level, right? Unless it breaks above this 6725 level, then you could be looking for further upside. So about 67, I'll be safe and say 6735. Take profit about 50 pips, Stop loss, because it's breaking that resistance, you can keep it about 20 pips, or 1:2 point, almost 1:2.5 to the upside there on the Aussie dollar. Okay. There is also the possibility or the chance for a test and a reject to the downside, breaking lower. Just being aware of that 61.8 level, I would say that you could also be looking, I think this is the more likely scenario where it breaks up and continues trading higher, especially with the dollar weakness. But if the dollar weakens a little bit before bouncing back up, then you could be looking for a trade at about 6710, stop loss about 25 pips, take profit, you can go all the way down to about 80 pips, right? But you know that there's a hesitation at 6687 and at about that 0. I would say the hesitation is just two levels, is at about 66. There we go. So if you're looking for this to move up, test, and then trade down, then we could be looking for a sell hesitation at a 61, brief hesitation at 61.8, again at 66.60, and then down to 66.25. Hey Jamil, good to see you. Good morning. How are you doing? Okay, so but my preferred view is for this to break above that resistance, and then trade higher. So I'm going to highlight that instead. I would say 6735, 20 pip stop loss, 50 pip take profit. We're looking to buy up 0.6735. Stop loss was 20 or 30. 20 pips, take profit 50 pips. 20, take profit 50 pips. Okay, again, remember, don't rush into both the trades. These are two trades looking in the same direction, so just be careful there. Choose either one, right? In terms of which one I would prefer, I would actually prefer the Aussie dollar, given that it's going to break above that resistance. We've seen it break above and climb quite strongly. I would prefer the Aussie dollar to the upside, despite it being a slightly smaller move. Okay, yen. So we were sharing about this on the yen as it was, I think, at about that point, as it was breaking above 134. I was saying, I was sharing in a group saying that, hey, if the yen breaks above or continues to trade above the 134 level, we could see further upside. So that didn't happen. All right, so right now it's consolidating along this level. You can see that anticipating that dollar weakness could push the yen back down. All right, overall, I'll share with you this is overall, I'm actually looking for the yen to trade up towards 135. All right, especially given that it's broken above, I'm looking for it to trade up. You can see, move that right across. I'm looking for it to trade up towards 135, but it's consolidating at this point. We might see some retracement. So drag that up. Right, so that it could come down to that 23.6 level and then bounce back up again. Overall, still fluctuating around 134. I would, let me see. Let me think about this. That trend line doesn't work very well as well. It's not great. Take that away. If we did that one there, if it comes all the way down towards 133, then I'm not going to be thinking of further upside. I might be even thinking that it's going to keep tracking down. Okay, so I'll tell you what. Looking at this as a consolidation at 134, right, along this range here. If we're looking for it to break above, if it closes above 134.20, right, you have a good 80 pip move to the upside for 135. So 134.20, we need a candle close with about an 80 pip move to the upside, and then a even if we did that, a 40 pip stop loss. Why is that not 80 pips? 135. Yeah, so we have that to the upside, right? Where's my 80? Okay, so it's almost a 1:2 to the upside there. 40 pip stop loss at 133.80. So I'll be quite happy with that. Or if it breaks down from this consolidation, breaking below that 23.6 level, then you could be looking for that downside stop loss very tight, about 20 to 30 pips. Take profit towards that support, about 60 pips. Again, almost a 1:2 risk reward ratio. Because it's sitting right in that consolidation right across, could either break the upside or the downside. Again, like I was telling you right at the start and repeating it quite many times today, is that we're not likely to see a clear direction on the across the board, as prices seem to be looking to develop a directional bias for now. Okay, so you can be either looking for either of this. I would in fact say that I would prefer this move higher, and if it does retrace down and bounce, then maybe I'm still looking for a bullish move on the yen just because of the divergence in monetary policy that way, a 40 pip to 160 pip back up towards 135 again. Okay, so I'm still looking for a retrace for a buying opportunity up towards 135. So either a retrace or breakout to upside with 135 resistance. How about that? Okay, so far so good. Hey, and remember, if you are on the session, do help me out. Click that thumbs up button, click that rocket ship button. Okay, so Jamilu asked about the pound dollar. Pound dollar did very well for us as well. It actually went a lot further than I anticipated, right? And anyway, the dollar index recovered or strengthened a lot more than we anticipated. We were looking for it to break that short-term trend line. We're looking to sell down from that 1.25 level. Thought they would get to 50 pips, right? We're talking about a 50 pip take profit as a counter trend. It actually did more than that. It came down to about 100 pips to that 1.24 support level. Okay, so if you got into pound, let me know. Suki said, I got in buy pound at 1.2419. Confluence, take that away for now. 1.2419, very good. Confluence 10, 25, 50, and 200 MA. Okay, and bounced off 120, 124, support on 5-minute charts. Any recommendations on how I can improve this? I think you did fantastic. And also Ichimoku Cloud, which was also wide. Yeah, I think you did fantastic on this move. The only thing I would have said is that Any safer would have been 124.20, which is 4 pips difference from where you got in, right? Just because I wanted the close of the candle above, but it's a great trade. I don't have anything to add to that. Ideally, what a lot of textbooks and people out there would say is, "Oh, I could have entered. You would have entered at 123, 1.2395 because of the pin bar, or 1.24." You know, that's on hindsight. This is entry at this two candles would have been on hindsight. After seeing that big drop, you would have entered there. Given that it's broken up, this is a great entry. So thumbs up, fantastic there, Suki. Okay, so at this point, I would add on to your trade idea is that let the candle close. Let the candle close. We could see further upside on the pound dollar. No worries, you're most welcome. Okay, we could see, look at it breaking above 23.6. We could see this pushing up. So I'm looking for this to close above. Take profit could be at that 61.8 level. You can see we did have a little bit of a confluence there as well, right? That previous levels here, the consolidations. So that's what I'll be looking for. Okay, so you could be looking at a buy at 1.2430, stop loss about 55. Take profit could be at about 30 or 25 pips. I would be happy with that. Okay. What was it again? I forgot. 1.2430. Let's do that. 1.2430. Stop loss 30 pips. Take profit 50 pips. Buy up. 1.2430. Stop loss 30. Take profit 50. You're most welcome there, Jamil. Dollar looks like it's pushing down, so we still have time. It still has space to move before it's going to signal that confirmation. So wait it out. Don't rush in yet. BL, did you get into the euro trade? Because we were sharing this. Okay, so on the euro, I was just sharing trade idea. I was looking for the euro here. You can see as it was at 1.0991. I was looking for bouncing off the interim support level, looking for upside. BL was saying buy above 1.10. And what's happened to the, you haven't got in yet, it's at 1.0999. So it's 1 pip away from your entry there, BL. Okay, so this is a little bit late now already. If you were on the session, you would be on the Discord, you'd be there. We're looking for that upside move on the euro dollar. I'm actually in this trade right after I signaled out. So I was in this trade. Still looking for that upside move at this point. We say 1.10. I would target that recent high. So I do note of this. In fact, I would change this to, just because of the way price broke strongly and broke down from there, I would change this to a dotted line, so a bit of a hesitation area. I would be looking for that 75 pip move to the upside. Stop loss maybe about 30 pips for that move to the upside. Okay, basically what you'd have to do right now is to wait for the euro dollar to close, for the candle to close before looking, and also, as BL says, waiting for 1.1. All right, so euro dollar is 1.1, stop loss 30, maybe a little bit lower. Stop loss 35, take profit 75. Right, just to that previous swing high. We can take these lines away for now. Right, we can take these lines just because it doesn't line up with a lot of other stuff. Okay. So that's the move on the euro, but do remember you have a bit of a hesitation, likely hesitation at 1.1030. So about 30 pips halfway, about halfway up. Consider whether it's going to continue or it's going to retrace before holding on or moving a stop loss, shifting it higher. Okay, 1.1135 to 75. Euro, we're looking to buy at 1.10. Stop loss about 35. Take profit about 75. Hesitation. Interim level at 1.1030. 1.1030. There we go. Okay, good. Any questions? Everyone's a bit quiet. It is Monday. So at this point, dollar retracing a little bit. Okay, that's why this is retracing. All good. All right, cool. Next up, US Swiss franc. Okay, US Swiss franc, again, dollar bound, so it didn't do that. Take that away as well. Anticipating that dollar weakness, you can see it's almost the same pattern. We've got a short term, right? A very short term double top forming, last time or on Thursday, we saw it form a bit of a support. Right now, forming a bit of a resistance level at this 0.8955 level. So it's forming a bit of a double top. It's breaking that support level, anticipating that further downside on the dollar index. What I'll be looking for here is maybe below 0.8920. Stop loss about, I'll keep this very tight. Again, because it's the US Swiss franc, it follows the dollar index. I'll say 20 pips to a take profit of about 40 pips, 45 pips to test that support level again. Okay, cool. Euro yen. Okay, I'll get to that. US Swiss franc, sell below 0.8920. So Euro Swiss franc to 8920. Stop loss was 20 to take profit about 45. So stop loss was about 20. Take profit to a 45. There we go. Dollar bouncing back up a little bit. Okay, good. Next up, US CAD. Remember, okay, if you didn't get into that trade, take it out. We're anticipating for it to bounce and trade down. It's a little bit late now. This was what we're looking at on Friday. Just remember that tomorrow we do have CPI numbers, inflationary growth numbers to come from the Canadians. So with that, I do think that we're likely to see the US CAD trade down. Okay, you can see this level forming a very good resistance. I think it's going to trade down, but I am looking for it to bounce. All right. So it sounds a bit silly, but as much as I think it's going to trade down, I'm looking for it to bounce just because of, if you look at the US CAD at this level, this was in February 14th, Valentine's Day, we saw a big bounce from this point. Okay, it's pretty much doing the same thing here. The lowest it will get to is 1.3262 and then a bounce again. So I would say I would forego, right? I would forego trying to sell it down just because it's so low. I'll be either looking for it to break out of this level or to trade down and bounce up or to finally trade lower and bounce up again. Okay, take that one away. Okay, so we have that as a resistance level. This point here is a bit of a resistance level as well. Yeah, I I'm, I'm looking for that downside move, but I'm looking for that bounce. So I would say I would stay away from the US CAD for now. I'll be looking for a place or possibility for it to bounce up. Okay, could trade lower, looking for correction higher. You don't always have to get into a trade. You don't always need a setup. You could just be waiting for a move to happen. All right. And so Suki asked, I think the euro dollar is going the same route as the pound dollar. What do I think, please? Yes. If you look at it, they do have that correlation. They are moving in a similar move. Did retrace back down to your entry level, but given that we're expecting that dollar index to weaken, um, we could see this push in a similar direction, or rather, if it does push, it's likely to push in a similar direction. So it always comes down to between the Aussie and the Kiwi, which one am I going to choose? Between the pound and the euro, which one I'm going to choose? They do tend to have a similar directional bias. Okay, so like you chose the pound dollar. If I were you, I wouldn't get into the euro. Would be compounding on a almost compounding on one trade, despite it being on a different currency pair. Okay, then next up, pound dollar didn't trade lower, didn't break that 38.2 level, so we take that away, consolidating along that resistance level. All right, the main thing now is looking at the dollar yen, still trading along that point. If this breaks lower, maybe we could see this trade down. If not, then I want to say that it's going to retrace, but if the pound dollar does go up, then it's not likely that the pound yen is going to retrace unless the US yen has a big drop. Okay, so I think what is likely to happen here on a pound dollar for now, for the short term, is possibly a consolidation along this range between 166.58 to 165.50. All right, you might think that it's a tradable range, right? You would have a 70 pip stop loss, a take profit. You have a 50 pip stop loss, but it's very choppy on the pound dollar. It could drop all the way down to this level. It could come almost, but then bounce back up again. So, I would say that it's likely to do this with no clear directional bias yet. Maybe wait for a breakout either of the resistance or this interim support, then maybe bounce off the 164.70 to go back up again. Okay, but for now, I think it's going to stay within this range. You're welcome there, Suki. So I would say pound, oops, take that away. Oh, what did I do? Go away. Okay, pound yen, I would say it's going to range between 165.55 and 166.58. 165.55 and 166.58. Can I do a training session on hedging? Man, I can, but I would normally consider hedging as one of the last things most traders should engage in, just because there are many factors to consider when you're hedging. It's not just looking at the correlations and getting into opposite directional trades. It's also balancing between why the correlation between, for example, the euro and the pound, or the pound and the pound yen in that sense, or or the euro and the euro pound. So I how do I say this? I can do hedging. I can do a session on hedging, but it's going to be a little bit dangerous because, you know, in a 1 hour session is never going to be enough. And once it's out there, everyone starts trying to hedge. And if you don't hedge properly, you don't hedge successfully, you could end up with a lot more pain than trying to protect a trade or trying to protect a setup. So just be very careful with that. And Emily just said hedging requires a lot of money and give up the money mindset, both of which I don't have. Yeah, it's not just it's not just about a lot of money. It's if you want to hedge properly, it's across different currency pairs, and to do that, it's really having the understanding of not just the way the prices move, but what causes it to really have the impulsive move. All right, what I'm actually studying now, I'm actually working through now, is the correlation actually of currency pairs is not so much on the directional, but more on the impulse, right? So you normally see price like gold and the dollar. It correlates, but sometimes it correlates more when there's a big push on the pound, on the gold, or big push on the dollar. Then you see that true correlation come around. So a lot more to think about. Very dangerous to do it in a quick, short session. Maybe we have to do an extra long session for hedging. For hedging, and I'll have to go through, make sure you're ready to do hedging before we do that. All right. Maybe I'm thinking too much. We'll see how it goes. Okay. So that's the pound yen, euro yen trading higher, breaking above that resistance. H4 time frame, we do have the next resistance at 148.44. Back to the H1. You could be, who's asking for that? Jamil, if you're looking for this to push up, I guess you're looking to see whether you can continue buying it up. I would say yes, big continuous trend to the upside. I'll be paying attention to what's happening on the euro dollar. If this continues pushing up, then we're going to see the euro yen push higher towards that 148.45 level, especially I would say as an interim level at about 147.50. We're going to see, just because the last time it got there, 50, where is it? There. It got there and then it bounced ever so slightly. So I wouldn't rush in now. I'll only be looking to get in above 147.50, about there. Take profit about 70 pips. Stop loss, I'll keep it tight at about, well, it's not really tight as well, about 40, 45 pips or 50 pips to the downside. So you're looking at almost a 1:1 risk-reward ratio on the euro yen. If it does bounce down, if it turns down and bounces, it'll be a better trade for the upside, right? So we're still looking for the upside move. Either it goes up, breaks above that near-term high, and trades towards 148.45, or it retraces, tests that support level and that trend line before pushing back up again. Okay, all good. Any questions on that? Euro pound or euro yen? And then next up, gold. So right at the start, Spiro said gold is an uptrend on H4. So on the H4 time frame, you can see that push. And in fact, if we did a longer term directional like that, right? It started back in 15th of March, bounced off, and then now bouncing off that support level. Not a resistance, it's a support. And I'm having too many lines already. So it didn't bounce off the trend line just because the dollar strengthened on Friday. So right now it's came all the way down, it's bounced off. It's right at that 2011 level. I would be very careful here. All right, it's not formed a level. It's not formed a key level yet. I would only be buying if it breaks above 2015. Right, so if it breaks above 2015, then I can be looking to buy it up. But look at the way it's forming right now. I wouldn't rush into a trade on gold right now. I think that we might see it consolidate within this range unless we see a clearer direction on the dollar. I think that gold is going to range here. I'm not looking for it to test 2033 or 2051, possibly anytime soon. I do know it's an uptrend. I do note that it's an uptrend, but it's likely to consolidate, especially if you look at it on H4 time frame. Right? If it does go back up and then get resisted at 2033, then what you're going to form is a bit of a shoulder, head, and possibly a shoulder there. That we might see a big drop on gold. And it's actually going to be quite interesting if this actually forms on the H4 time frame, might bring gold or back down quite significantly. So I would say that's something to watch out for. Something to watch out for. Okay, so gold, we might see it consolidate. So we say upside potential, but likely to consolidate for short term. Okay. I don't have gambling. Nope, I don't do gambling. Retracted. Okay. Alrighty, so we went through the sessions quite quickly. Bitcoin went up to that 30,000 level. Right. Interestingly, is that it's forming again a little bit of the head and shoulder, might retrace. Right. I mean, it's a big uptrend, so I don't think it's going to retrace by too much. Might come down to that 28,800 level. Might come down to that. On the cryptos, I'll only be looking to buy into value. So I wouldn't be looking to sell down. I'll be only, if it trades down, then looking to buy it back up. Ethereum went 2150, almost 2150, consolidating. I do think that it's going to consolidate a little bit of a downside before bouncing back up again. Right, a little bit of a divergence there between Bitcoin and Ethereum. It looks like. Which trade would you rather if silver and gold were in the same direction? I would rather gold, just because silver is not something that I trade actively on or at all. I do the analysis for you guys. I do the analysis for some other work that I do, but it's not a commodity that I trade on. So just I'm a firm believer of trading what you're familiar with. Not every price movement is tradable. So I would say that between the two, I would trade gold, but there are good opportunities on silver as well, right? Especially how it's bounced off this 25.15 level, looking like it might climb towards 26.22. Okay. Oh, I don't have mindset to trade gold. Yeah, gold. Gold is a different beast. Gold is slightly of a different beast. Like I was telling you guys, I don't I never used to really trade gold until I did the prop challenge. Then I just said, okay, I'll only do this on gold just because I'm doing FX on my other accounts. So I want to see what happens here. All right, thanks, Jan B. No worries. Anyway, we've come to the end of the session. Not much happening in terms of the markets at this point. So don't feel like you have to rush into trades or to do anything too crazy. So in the meantime, please trade well, trade safe. Do jump onto the Discord channel if you haven't already. The link is there. And then I will catch you tomorrow. Again, same time, same place, 3 p.m. Take care now. Bye bye.